Coming up next on Making Moves, the St. John's River Ferry is closing. Find out why that's a good thing. We'll learn how JTA is advancing data analysis to heights previously unknown in the transit world when Jason Montgomery joins us in studio. We'll take you to the Skyway to show you what some interns are building, and our award-winning team of reporters is here to discuss 10 years of Making Moves. I'm Donna Deegan. These stories and more right now on Making Moves. Hello and welcome to Making Moves. I'm Donna Deegan. Glad to have you with us for our Season 10 finale. We have a jam-packed show for you, including a special look back at our 10 years on the air with our award-winning team of correspondents. They'll be discussing many of the amazing stories we've been able to bring you over the past 120 episodes. And JTA's Jason Montgomery will join me in studio to tell us about the authority's innovative new business intelligence unit and how they are reshaping the way transit agencies use data to be more efficient. But first, let's check the headlines. The St. John's River Ferry will be closed beginning today through the end of October as the JTA continues to upgrade and improve the ferry infrastructure. The closure is necessary so that JTA can replace the existing terminal bridges, which allows your vehicle to safely load and unload from the ferry. Crews will also perform required maintenance. Earlier this year, the Federal Transit Administration awarded the JTA a nearly $3.4 million passenger ferry grant to facilitate these and other improvements.
It seems like a high-end ferry. You feel safe on it. The whole thing seems to run very efficiently. I think everybody's enjoying it.
I noticed when they first started on the safety barriers, they replaced everything, and it actually makes it look real nice. And like I say, I drive it every day, so I don't have any complaints about it. It's real helpful.
It's very good, very important. And this is a nice area that you can take a little quick trot, go across the road, and you don't have to go all the way around. It hurts when they close it for repairs, but they have to do that.
One thing about my company, we do a lot of hauling heavy loads, so it actually cut down the time and distance as far as us using it. And it's actually very helpful.
Ridership has reached record levels since JTA took over permanent ownership and operation of the ferry back in March of 2016. JTA recently implemented mobile ticketing for ferry users through its MyJTA app. Now you can buy a ferry pass right on your phone. Construction is continuing on transit stations for the new First Coast Flyer Red Line. The Red Line will be the first bus rapid transit line anywhere to travel to the beach. The Red Line is scheduled to launch in December with service running eastbound from downtown on the Arlington Expressway to Southside Boulevard before taking Beach Boulevard to Jacksonville Beach. Like the Flyer's green and blue lines, the Red Line will run every 10 minutes during peak hours and every 15 minutes off peak and make limited stops. Nights and weekends will be every 30 minutes. The road to a new career as a professional bus operator is still open to qualified candidates. The new Flyer service coming in December has increased the need for additional drivers at JTA. The authority is looking to hire a total of 30 new operators and will have training classes beginning each month through November.
They'll be driving our standard buses along our various routes. To qualify, you must be 21 years old, hold a high school diploma or equivalency, and hold a CDL, Florida CDL, Class A or B, either permit with a passenger endorsement. Upon graduation, you will qualify for benefits, including group health benefits and access to a pension plan, paid vacations and holidays, and additional incentive pay for performance and attendance.
To apply, visit jtafla.com. And if you get one of those new jobs, you may be driving one of 19 new compressed natural gas buses scheduled to arrive at the JTA later this month. The buses are earmarked for the new First Coast Flyer Red Line service and will be branded with the Flyer design. More than 40% of the JTA fleet will be using the cleaner burning CNG. As we've documented extensively on this show, JTA is at the forefront of advancing innovative new ideas in the transit industry. The latest example is JTA's Business Intelligence Unit that is reshaping the way the authority collects data and then transforms that information into useful change for the various divisions at the authority. So joining us now is the Director of Business Intelligence Team. That sounds really fancy, Jason Montgomery. And Jason has promised me that he's going to make data fun for us today. So Jason, tell us, what is business intelligence? What does that mean, and why does JTA need it?
Okay. So JTA knows that public transit and the options that people have to ride is changing at a rapid pace. And we also know that the technology that you have is changing. So with that, customer expectations are also changing. So we know we have to change as well. But how do you go about doing that? And data really kind of becomes the new currency to answer questions like that. And that's where our team becomes involved in being able to solve the biggest challenges that JTA has and some of the biggest questions.
So tell me more about how that works then. I mean, obviously, people hear data. I think data, I think math, and I always tell people I got into broadcasting because I was told there would be no math. But data is interesting when it comes to things like this because it is what's driving everything now. So tell us how that works.
Okay. So our department has two main functions to it. One would be what typical business intelligence consists of is automating a report to be able to give you real-time decision making. The second one would be what's called data science, which is more of an ad hoc analysis to be able to drive change in the way you do your business.
Okay, so to drive change, that means that you're really trying to use the data to change behaviors. Is that basically what you're talking about? So you guys are really light years ahead of everybody else on this. I mean, do you have people beating down your door and saying, hey, tell us how to do this?
So our department is unique in the fact that we have access to almost everything, and we support almost everyone within the JTA. So depending on what the challenges we're facing, we can go in and assist them with the analysis. Give you an example of that.
Okay.
So the customer experience, being able to know which bus stops people are riding at and what experience they're actually having. So what is the core reason why they may be struggling to ride at that stop? It may be the bus stop cleanliness, it may be on-time performance. Taking all that data and being able to customize it to what's going on at a specific location allows the different departments to target to that location.
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier about how more and more people, as all of this stuff evolves and people find it easier to go to their smartphones and whatever to figure out what's going on, that you've got more people engaging in public transit. And you were telling me that not only is that the young people, but it's also people that are in the boomer segment.
That's also true. We're seeing a growth in both markets, and that's really something that my department is meant to assist with, is to be able to help, say, our marketing communications department understand who is riding, who's going to be riding, what their expectations are going to be, and how our service needs to adapt to meet those expectations.
So how are you teaching those? Now listen, because I'm older, I can say this, those old dogs, new tricks. Why are you seeing an uptick, do you think, in the boomer market? I get the young people, but why do you think you're seeing the uptick in the boomer market?
So one of the services that JTA provides is called paratransit. And if you need assistance, we will actually send an on-demand vehicle to your house to be able to allow you to get to the grocery store, to work, whatever it is your needs are. Well, as the population begins to age, you will see an uptick in that particular demographic as well.
That's really interesting. So you said earlier that you just finished a data science internship. What is that, and tell us what that did?
So two of the things that we do, one is data. The other side is developing the workforce of the future to make sure that people that are coming out of college now know how to use this type of information. It's a very new field. There's not many master's degree programs out there for it. So what we've actually designed is a summer internship program where we partner with the local colleges, UNF, JU, bring students in for a paid internship for the summer and teach them how to do this in the real world.
That's fantastic. So when you're this far ahead of the field, and you are clearly at this point very far ahead of the field, what's next for you?
So we develop systems as well, and one of the things that we're doing next is being able to build a system that gives access to all this data to everyone. So instead of our department being the only one that has it, you can log in one place and be able to get everything that you need in one spot. And then most of the work that analysts do nowadays tends to be reporting and communicating on what's going on. Mm-hmm. Most of that can actually be done by a computer nowadays, where it can write the entire article for you, freeing up the time for the analyst to spend his time on more creative endeavors.
Okay. Hopefully that's not going to get rid of, us.
That's what it's funny, that's what everybody worries about, but you can spend your time on the things that your business partners really want you spending time on. Most people don't want you spending your time on recurring tasks. They want you working on the truly innovative work. And that's the idea, is to free up that time for you.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I got to say, our executive producer, Bill Milne, promised me that this was going to be fascinating, and it truly was. It is amazing how JTA just continues to push the envelope on these things. So, Jason Montgomery, Jacksonville native, yay. Thank you so much for opening our eyes about this incredible work you're doing, and we look forward to hearing where all that data goes. That was not painful at all.
Thank you, Donna.
I want to let you know, I appreciate it. In other news, a group of high school and college interns from the mayor's intern program spent some time recently at the Skyway building a miniature autonomous vehicle similar to the ones JTA is proposing to use, replacing the aging Skyway. Making Moves videographer Jeffrey Leeser gives us an up-close look at how they did.
JTA has been involved with the Mayor's Youth at Work Partnership Summer Program, which engages Duval County High School students. Currently, the JTA has the U2C project, which dives into many of the STEM fields such as engineering, information technology, and math.
The most interesting thing I've actually done was building the autonomous vehicle, and basically going through that process, all the pieces we had to do, all the programming, rewiring, using what we have.
I think it's pretty cool to program something to do it, perform its task on its own, rather than, us operating on it.
The senior manager of Skyway, Harold Sams, and his team developed a platform to utilize current technology for JTA's future autonomous vehicles by building, developing, and programming an RC car.
As a civil engineer, we build buildings and we do all this stuff, and programming a vehicle will give me a head start on my career and how it's going to help me in college, be prepared.
To be able to know that it's just not a bus transportation service, that it's more than that, and it's a brighter future than that, and it's for the better of Jacksonville.
With Mr. Ford at the helm of our organization and his strong stance on workforce development, JTA felt it was not only our responsibility, but our duty to give back to our community and to help develop Florida's future workforce.
Everybody here seems to be friendly, everybody does their own part, everybody works. And so if I had to work with these people again, I would definitely sign on and say, yes, I'm here.
When we come back, I'll be joined in the newsroom by our award-winning team of correspondents as we look back at 10 years of making moves. Stay tuned.
Riding JTA has never been easier than with the MyJTA app. Now you can pay for your next bus or ferry ride right from your phone. Just download the free MyJTA app from your phone's app store and you're ready to go. Use the drop-down menu to select your fare and pay by using Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. You can purchase 1, 3, 7, or 31-day bus passes or a single ride on the St. John's River Ferry. The MyJTA app. Transit for a modern world.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to the season 10 finale of Making Moves. As you might imagine, reaching 10 years on the air is a major milestone for any television show. That's 120 episodes, millions of viewers, and more than 1,000 stories. I feel old. And these are three talented folks who have brought you many of those amazing stories. We have Terry Casey, Catalina Alers-Alers, and Eugene Lindsay. And Eugene, you are the senior statesman of our broadcast. Well, 8 years is a long time. So did you think that when we started this 8 years ago that you were going to be doing it 8 years later?
Yeah, 8 years, it's been a while. It doesn't seem like 8 years, I'll tell you that. I can say I thought I would be doing it 8 years later because, as career paths go, you never know where you're going to be, 8 years down the road. But fortunately, this product has, kind of stood the test of time. It lasts, it's out there, it's effective, and it's getting a message out to people that is JTA is making a difference in how things are going transportation-wise here in the city. So, no, I didn't think I'd be here 8 years ago, but hey, I can tell you this, I'm glad I am.
Well, I'm glad you are too, and I have to say, as you know, I mean, your role has expanded significantly since you've. Not only is this man an incredible actor, which we all know, he's an amazing actor, but here on the show, producer, photographer, whatever it is that we have needed. You fly a drone, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, and that's the fun part about this show and this job that keeps me coming back. Every time I get on an assignment, it's never really virtually the same. It offers some versatility and something fresh and something new every time you go out. And, I'm just glad to be a part of the team, being able to, step up to the plate whenever, Bill needs something, and as well as these guys are, that's what this job is all about, and it's just fun to do and be a part of that.
It has been fun to watch how everything has evolved over the years. Catalina, you're the newest to the crew. You joined us a year ago.
Yeah, a little over a year ago. I had to think back the other day. I was like, wait, how long have I been doing this show? Because my partner in crime has always been Eugene.
It's been us too.
Always been.
Early morning sometimes, evening sometimes.
Also true, yeah. But it's been really, really fun, really eye-opening to other parts of the city that I haven't really gone out and explored, even though I've been in Jacksonville almost my entire life.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, that's been the fun part, really. I mean, and for me, it's been fun just to watch it all happen. Terry Casey, you and your videographer, Mick Richards, you have produced some of the most memorable stories we've had on the show over the years, stories that people still talk about months and years later. And one of my favorites truly was that whole lost and found story, because it was amazing to me, everything from body parts to other stuff that people actually have left on the buses. So I mean, I know that's a big one for me. Which ones resonate with you?
Oh gosh, well, first of all, going into the tiny lost and found department. I mean, I couldn't believe it was so small when we first went in there. Now, this is a few years ago, but we found all sorts of stuff. For one thing, there were three things that resonate with me. One of them was the contents of a small safe that was in Lost and Found. It was like treasure when they opened it up for us. There were, for real, left on the bus, diamonds. I actually got to hold some, couldn't take them back with me.
Didn't snag a couple on your way?
I thought about it, but there's no way.
Keep an inventory.
But diamonds, other jewelry, there was cash, there were wallets, Jaguars tickets at the time.
Sad.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you could have put some of this stuff in a vault. And then there was this, and you sort of alluded to this, there was a prosthesis that was left on a bus. Now, the thing that's still...
Was it an arm or a leg?
It was a leg. It was a leg. I'm glad you asked.
I mean, I still am trying to get that. I mean, who goes, gosh, what did I forget on the bus?
I don't know how they got off the bus.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
How did they get off?
But there's one more bizarre than that. And this is what caps it off, I think. Oh, yeah, well, I'll keep that to myself. No. Okay, and it's really tough to believe. Somebody actually left a kid on the bus.
No.
Now, it was a child. Then they just got off the bus and left their kid. Now, I sort of speculate here that the issue involved in that probably didn't get too far. It was resolved, no doubt, with just a few streets.
The child wasn't in the lost and found.
No, the kid wasn't there. He would have been in a locker probably somewhere. But I think everything's all right. But the people of Lost and Found, they never know what's going to, surface.
Right.
So crazy.
They work hard. They work really hard, and they were a joy to deal with.
Okay, and Catalina, you've been with the show for a little over a year. We were talking about that. I have really enjoyed your around town segments. And as a native, I feel like I've seen everything in Jacksonville, and then I see your reports and I go, gosh, I really haven't, at least not in that way. Tell us a little bit about that segment. What have you liked?
It's so fun. It really shows how accessible Jacksonville is through JTA. When we did the Savada's Cupcakery segment in Avondale, there's a bus stop right in front of the cupcake shop. So you could literally take the bus, hop off, go get your cupcake, and then hop back on. Like, just to see how really convenient it can be, especially in some of those neighborhoods that you think might not be accessible. It was really was surprising. And 5 points, which is my hood, where I spent a lot of my time getting to do the story on Sunray Cinema and just really learning more about the history. And even their menu is a big deal, because PETA actually voted them #1 movie theater in the country because they have a lot of vegan and vegetarian options.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's just that place has so much history, and the owners really, really take good care and try to put that as a spotlight on Sunray.
Yeah, I remember so many of your great around town reports. What do you think was your favorite? You think it was Sunray?
Oh, Sunray, yeah. Just because that place is so special to me. I've 5 points I've started to explore more as I've gotten older, and just that I love film, and they have such a great selection of films, whether it's like blockbusters or more indie movies. It's my favorite story.
That's the cool thing about Jacksonville, honestly, is any neighborhood that you go into has its own character, but 5 Points really is.
Yeah, it's got so
unique.
much character. I love it.
Okay, this is a question for everybody. So we all want to think we make a difference, right, in everything that we do here at Making Moves. But what impact do you think this show has made over the years?
I think people have real life experiences, something that you have just told us about too. But these are experiences showing a need for JTA, and a need that goes beyond riding merely a bus, for heaven's sakes. Example, Catherine Romero. She's from Honduras. She goes to FSCJ, did a wonderful story on this young lady. She doesn't have a car, so she takes JTA 2 classes every single morning, then home in the evening. The thing about her, she was determined ever since she was a child in Honduras to be the family doctor. Well, she's headed in that direction here in the States, and that dream also has her going to medical school, or will, all right, as soon as she gets out of FSCJ. And JTA, just by virtue, she says, of being able to rely on them every day and every night, is filling a need for her to succeed and make her dream come true.
That's a cool story.
That's so beautiful. Wow.
Well, she was a darling. She's really a sweetheart. She's also very active in her student body. She's a leader. I mean, she does so much. You'd love this lady.
Well, that's really what it comes down to, guys, isn't it? It's lives affected.
Right, exactly. And along that same note, I think about one of the stories that kind of impacted me a lot was when I went to a little home facility called Madison Manor. And the thing about this show that I like, it's a vehicle for people to get their voice out, their stories told, and for concerns that they have, particularly when it comes to transportation. For instance, there was a supermarket that was right across the street from where they lived, and the supermarket closed. They literally used to always walk to the grocery store, and basically that was their world, took care of everything. Well, once that store closed, they had no way to get basic necessities, food, water, if you will. And they needed a way to get around. So, and what I love about JTA is that they create different ways to partnerships to really fulfill needs that citizens have. So they partner with a cab company, Coastal Cab, I think it was, and they partner with them for at a reduced rate. They will meet the homeowners that live there and take them anywhere they wanted to go within a 2.5-mile radius to get their shopping done, to go to the pharmacist, to go to the doctor. And so, it's that kind of thing. When I talked to those people, they were so appreciative that JTA literally stepped up to the plate. Hey, what can we do to help you all get to where you need to go? A mainline bus stop was right there, but they didn't need to go that far, but they need to get to, 2 places that was, accessible and not with a lot of hassle with climbing on big buses. So they partnered with a cab company. I mean, how special is that?
Oh, well, that I love that. I mean, that's the point, right? Is that the way we've seen JTA evolve is that it has really started to connect different segments of the community to meet the needs, right?
Even in Jacksonville Beach, when we partnered with, was it Beach Buggies?
Beach Buggies.
Yeah, you would, especially with my generation and how much we're at the beach bars constantly. It's either you're trying to bike everywhere, walk everywhere, and if you're wearing heels, like you're not gonna walk up and down First Street.
and you're wearing heels.
And I'm usually wearing heels, yes.
Even at the beach.
Even at the beach. Listen, girls gotta look cute, But just that partnership, it's a free ride up and down First First Street. You just, you know, give them a quick call and they'll come and pick you up. And it's so lit because the beach buggies are actually like lighting up and it looks like a little roving party. I mean, those small partnerships really do mean a lot. And especially with my generation where we're so reliant on our cars or on, you know, on-demand transportation like Uber and Lyft, it really gives JTA that sight that they need to show our younger generations. Like, look, we're here, and we're not just some stuffy, you know, transportation company. Like, we'll help you out. We'll go where you want to go.
Well, I'll say from my perspective, we've also partnered with the beachside buggies for the marathon. And especially now that we've moved everything all down to the beach, that's primarily going to be how people come and go. And you know, basically what you see if you look around the beaches, you see a lot of people in their golf carts, right?
Yep.
So the whole beachside buggies thing has taken off in a huge way out there because you know you're talking about a relatively small strip of. So regardless of the segment of the community, I mean, I think Eugene, gosh, you just nailed it with that. The whole idea of, and we were talking to the gentleman who runs the big data earlier, and you know, you think, gosh, data sounds sort of stale, but at the end of the day, what you're learning is JTA is you have to learn what people need in order to provide that need, and that's what all these different, being able to go to your phone and being able to see real time, you know, services and being able to communicate with people about what is it that, instead of here's what we have, what do you need, and let us provide it with the community partnerships. I just think it's been wonderful, and it's been great to have all of you here over the years to tell all of those
right, exactly.
I've missed this segment. We need to do this more often.
Absolutely.
It is
Agreed.
so fun,
Yeah.
and honestly, you know, here's to another 10 years, guys.
Another 10.
You all ready?
We're all in.
Where's the champagne? I heard there was a champagne
That sounds
toast.
good.
Okay, all right, Bill Milnes, champagne for the next 10 years. All right, we'll be back with some final thoughts right after this short break. 10 years of making moves didn't just happen overnight. From the original idea by Michael Blaylock to the creation and leadership of the show by our executive producer, Bill Milnes, to the many correspondents and videographers, the talented production team behind the scenes, the amazing team here at FSCJ Deerwood Studios, our partners at Gemstone Media and WJXT Channel 4, of course, a special thanks to JTA CEO Nat Ford for his contributions and continued support and really amazing vision for this organization. And most of all, to you, our audience. We hope you have been well informed, entertained, and know that JTA is dedicated to providing world-class transportation services, from road and bridge building to public transit. And we will continue to showcase the initiatives that have made JTA a leader in the transportation industry. So you keep watching, and we'll keep being your premier source for transportation news and information here in Northeast Florida. That wraps up this show number 122, if you can believe it. And we hope you join us again on Tuesday, October 2nd for the Making Moves Season 11 premiere. Until then, for the entire Making Moves team, I'm Donna Deegan. Thank you for 10 great years, and we'll see you next time. We're Making Moves.